Well, hello, my friends. Welcome back to the garden. We are getting a lot of work done today. You guys, I'm in a sweatshirt in the middle of summer, and I could not be more thrilled. We have had really high temperatures, not insanely high, but it's been hot. And I am not a hot weather girly. I'm a fall girly. I'm a spring girly. And so it's nice to have some cool temperatures rolling in. It just makes working in the garden so much more enjoyable. On our list of things to do is we have some new babies to get into the ground. If you missed this video, hello. I treated myself at my local nursery to 6 of these Boom Chocolatta geraniums. This is a geranium that I had seen in Aaron's garden, the Impatient Gardener, and I just loved it. I thought it was so interesting. I love the dark foliage, and if you've been here a minute, you know I've been craving something dark for that front border, and I've just been kind of waiting just to see what crops up. You guys had some amazing suggestions. I felt like also my garden is really missing geraniums up here because I love them so much. So we're gonna get these in the ground. And I did buy 6. I have a feeling I might wanna buy more, but we're gonna do 6 for now. Next thing that's on my radar is I have a lot of perennials that have gone over. And work and life has just been it's been a lot, and I've been really busy with all the kids out for summer. And so we're going to give the front yard a little bit of attention today. We're going to prune back some perennials. We're going to tidy some things up. And then after that is done, my treat for the day is getting a new purchase set up on the back bunker deck. As you know, I totally rehabbed that space and I wanted like a fresh start and really being intentional about what I bring into that space and is it fitting the vibe? Is it on program? And so I made a little purchase that we're going to set up today. Last but not least, if we have time, I have my beautiful antique concrete wall hanging that I purchased at Christianson's Midsummer Antique Fair. She is gorgeous. She is so gorgeous. So I need to dig around downstairs and see if I have a nail strong enough to tack it up. If not, I'll do a quick trip to the hardware store. But it is a beautiful, solid, gorgeous wall hanging featuring this just beautiful face of a woman. It feels Art Deco to me. I'll show you when we get to that stage, but it feels Art Deco. And she's just got this beautiful crown of florals. And so I think I have at least the temporary home, because as you know, we're shifting some things around the house. I'm going to get you set up and we are going to dig in geraniums. I think I might steal a sedum from the inside of my garden to put out here. Also, if you're wondering why this sedum doesn't look as good, I will tell you it's because we got home the other night and this entire fence had been smashed in and it broke the center out of the sedum. This is living in the city, unfortunately. So I'm not too thrilled about that, but you know, like, what are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. So I'm really liking this. I'm probably going to dig out some of this origeron though and move it. And then also I am discovering down here, look at this. Some of my Salvia caradona is reseeding itself, which I've never had happen before. So that is really exciting. So all that to say, I think I'm actually really loving how this dark sedum or this dark geranium is coming in. The other thing is these are going to get 2 feet wide. So I have at least a foot on either side where it's going to spill over and look really, really good. Okay, I also kind of want to play with something. You know, I put an Agastaki here, but I didn't like it. And so it got 86'd, but I do kind of wonder, is there something really nice about having like a larger moment of impact there? I mean, obviously it's not spaced perfectly. I would rather have this here, something like that. But that, I don't know, I'm going to keep this idea in the back of my head. But this is also why I wish I had bought more, because that is kind of a nice combination. Although maybe this needs to be a grass moment. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Let's go ahead and lay the rest of these out. Typically, I would be out here with my power planter. However, I do have some bulbs in here, and I'm gonna need to transplant a few things. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna use my trusty old shovel right now to make sure that I'm grabbing everything that I wanna grab. That is looking so good. By the way, if you see me pausing and tucking things back into the soil, it's because there are amazing, amazing tulip bulbs and daffodils planted all along this border. And one thing that I really like to do when I am placing my bulbs is I'll place them in and amongst my perennials and my grasses. Because just about the time that the foliage is dying back and it looks terrible, your perennials are all coming online. And so it kind of helps like detract from the fact that you have all this dying foliage, which you really need so that that little bulb has all of its energy to put on a show for next year. I was just thinking about how we may get a little bit more heat this week. And so what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna top dress this area with a little bit of compost that I had on hand, just to help with nutrients, getting this little cutie established. And then it's kind of a, it's more of a barky compost, so it'll act as mulch. And so, you know, it was one of those things where I started watering these in and water just like sheeted right off the top of my soil, which is why you also saw me coming in here and like roughing up my existing compost, because I just feel like sometimes compost can form like a crust on top of the soil. And so I just want to make sure, like, you know, everyone's happy out here. And also, it looks pretty. Okay, here they are, all tucked in. And I'm really loving the dark foliage. You know, one of you said something really interesting in my comments. That dark foliage helps tie it back to the house. And it's so funny, I didn't even think about that. But it is really, really good. Just a little top dressing of compost, because as you guys know, I have the sandiest soil alive. And then this is also a project that I'm gonna do off camera, but I just kind of like sprayed out this little border area. It gets all gunked up with droppings from the birch tree. And so I'm just gonna scoop those up, throw them in the compost. Okay, friends, I feel like we've reached the we're gonna crawl around on the ground like a crazy person portion of this episode. So I am going to set you guys up. And the goal here is I have lady's mantle that is totally bloomed out. So I'm gonna cut back all of those spent blooms and maybe some of the older leaves too, and see if I can flesh out some new growth. And then I'm also going to dive into my salvia. I grow Salvia caradona. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I may be too late to give it a hard haircut, but I think I'm gonna try it anyways. You know, like, worst thing, it doesn't work out. But what this will allow me to do is actually get in here, clean up my roses, which of course have black spot because welcome to the Northwest, and just get things a little tidied. So I'm gonna set you up and we're gonna get to work. salvia forest. This salvia for the most part is pretty bloomed out. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna come in here and give it like a pretty savage haircut. And what I'm looking for is I could take it down as far as like a couple buds up, because do you see that new growth coming out there? But I think I'm actually gonna take it to about there, because I'm just kind of liking that level. Now I could also prune it irregularly, because look at that. That little guy is ready to come out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of an irregular prune so it doesn't look like I've given the thing a flat top, and we'll kind of go from there. This is looking so much better. Holy cow, this all needed a haircut. Let me just spin you around the other way. I took a half second and took off some of the black spot leaves here. Oh man, okay, but this is looking so good. And what I kind of did is I did take my lady's mantle down, but I'm thinking it should push out quite a bit of new growth. I also made some discoveries down there at that end, but I'm going to save those for the garden tour. You're going to have to come back and see. Now that I've done all my chores out front, I get my reward for being really good and doing tons of cleanup. Does anyone else out there give themselves, dangle a little carrot of really fun stuff that they get to do after they do their chores? Maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe it's a recall from childhood. But all that to say, I get to do two really fun things now. The first is hanging up my lady. This is the lady I got at Christianson's when they were doing their Midsummer antique fair. I will link that video below. And I kind of am thinking right behind the camera is our basement door. And it comes out into this side yard. And every time I come out here, it's like where I keep the junk. It's like not cute at all. And so I'm kind of doing this thing lately where I'm challenging myself to make the not so special pieces of my home very special. And the mundane areas feel like they have a little magic sauce to them. I actually really love this area. We get a beautiful breeze coming through the side yard. We have this gorgeous canopy of wisteria above me. And what I'm kind of thinking is I want to hang my lady right here. So I'm greeted by my garden goddess as soon as I come out to work. And so that's what we're going to do. First things first, I am going to cut off all of these little whippy bits. I actually went pretty hard on this wisteria in the middle of winter. I gave it what I would refer to as like somewhere between a maintenance and a regenerative prune because it had gotten so wild and so out of control. And what's really funny is I'll show this in my garden tour, which is coming out later in the week, but it actually threw a couple of random wisteria blooms just this month. So first things first, I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm gonna leave my canopy to just a couple of really strong vines. And so all of this is gonna go. And then I'll bring my new garden goddess over and we're gonna see where she wants to reside. And by the way, this entire wisteria is actually due for its midsummer prune. And I think I may do a short on that. Just like a quick little, this is how you do it, because not everyone needs to see me toil and prune an entire giant wisteria. Oh, I might have to go get the big ones, but let's take this one off too. Okay, I love these ones. These are giant Fiskars loppers, and they do have an extendable arm on them. And so whenever I'm too short to get something, these come in very handy. This thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Brian doesn't want to be on camera. So, and I need to be the one to see where it is, but I'm kind of thinking I like her there. What do you think? I should probably measure this. Shouldn't I? Nah. Okay. I'm excited. Oh. That looks so good. She like belongs under the wisteria with all of her flowers. And look, this even looks like a wisteria, doesn't it? $65. Steal of a deal. Steal of a deal. I also like the fact that like I could put garden treasures on top too. Brian is not as thrilled as I am. That is so cute. In all fairness, Brian is currently trying to solve an irrigation issue. So, man, and this reminds me of like the little drops that you see coming off of wisteria. I just think she is so perfect in this side yard. She is so cute. Friends, here's my surprise for myself. If you've been around, you know that I have been working on this space, and I'm taking the slow boat method. There's nothing quick and dirty about this. I am making just one right choice at a time, and you guys had great feedback. Now, when I originally did this video, I had the sofa here. I liked it there. I thought it was nice. And I liked that the flowers were like popping up from behind it, but then a lot of you were like, you should change it around, put the sofa over there. And I did it, and I liked it. And then I was like, oh gosh, I think I need a second chair. So Design Within Reach was having a sale, and I was like really tempted, and I didn't pull the trigger. And then they did like a sale on a sale just after 4th of July. It was like that weekend. And finally, like the price was so juicy. I was like, I can't not buy it at this point because I don't know when it's going to be this inexpensive again. So my reward for all my hard work today, because I did a really good job in the garden today, so I get to unbox my new chair. And I'm super excited. I feel like 2 chairs here, the sofa there. Slowly but surely it's coming together. You know, some of you also had like the genius idea of painting a carpet on this concrete. Let me tell you, that really sounded like a good idea to me. But I just don't know, like I've never painted concrete before. And I kind of wonder how it will all shake out. And also I have like 8 other things, actually more like 8 million other things that I've got going on. But I really liked that idea because I thought you could do something really cool and timeless with a painted carpet. Oh my gosh. Okay, I might need my assistant to come in and help me. But man, you guys, This stuff, I tell ya, this hay furniture, it is so sturdy. It is so well built. And also, it did it! Oh no! Ugh. Whew. I lost my train of thought, but I got it out of the box by myself. I love this furniture. It is so classic. It is so timeless. I'm taking this off really gingerly. This little foam piece is taped around it. And so I'm just sliding my Felco right under the tape because I am not about ready to scratch this thing. These are very expensive chairs, but they are built to last. And I think when you invest in just like the right piece of furniture, it's so worth it. It is so worth it. Okay, friends, so here we are. My reward, unboxing this gorgeous new chair. And I also love slow design. I feel like this is so much more realistic for many of you out there. It's like little piece, just one right next step in front of the other. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy this new seating arrangement. I'll see you in the next one. As always, thank you so much for all of your feedback and your suggestions. It feels like I have a full garden team of friends here with me every single week. Okay, say hello to your garden for me. I'll see you later.